Good morning, everyone. I'm Corporal Lamar Robinson from the Prince George's County Police Department. Today we are here to try to find some resolution to the murder of Hollis Johnson, 36-year-old Hollis Johnson, who was tragically murdered in Chillum approximately 3 years ago today. Today we have some family members here who would like to address you all in reference to this so we can find some conclusion to this particular incident. We have Hollis's mom, Miss Pauline Johnson, and sister, Mashiya Johnson, who would like to say a few words.
Good morning. It's a tough day. 11:30 on this evening, we received a call that our son was shot. You know, it's a call no parent wants to ever receive. So it's been a tough time. But today, 3 years later, this case remains open, and we really want the public to know, without a shadow of a doubt, that Hollis has not been forgotten. And we know that we're putting out this appeal today. In the next 10 days, 30 days, whatever it takes, we know that someone must know what happened to Hollis. People talk, people say things. So I'm really making an appeal to those who know what might have taken place on that night, that you would come forth and be freed up of what that guilt is inside. So we're really asking for an appeal for someone to come forward. You know, our family has been blessed. You know, we lost Hollis, but we're still blessed. It's not easy. But I know there's a reason why we're here today. And my hope is that someone will come forth. Our faith is what's gotten us through this. Could never have done it without God. Never. I want to really thank Prince George's County Police Department because our detective, Detective Bolin, I can call him anytime, and he takes our calls and lets us know what's going on with the case. We don't take that for granted. Now, one of the things I'd like to share with you today, when Hollis was 36 years old, 9-year employee of Freddie Mac, loads of friends. He'd do anything for anyone. He was a remarkable individual. At his home celebration service, over 1,000 people attended his service. He was a remarkable human being. But because he did so many good things for others, we established the Hollis Bradford Johnson Scholarship Foundation in his honor. And since 2015, we have been blessed to give out 3 scholarships to athletes with character, that work in their community, that give. Hollis knew how to give love. He knew what that meant. And today, it's a bittersweet because his dad died August 4th. So it's tough. But those scholarships are helping those young men go on to college. And we have a board of directors of 17 young men who are mentoring these young men to go through college and to do the best that they can be and do the best that they can do. We've established, we're putting up a website that will actually be on in the next, well, actually the first page will be up here soon, and we'll try to get that out to you at some point. But I just first want to thank the media for coming out. I want to thank the media and the police department for allowing us this opportunity, because we don't take this time for granted. And I know that every family, someone is special to them when they lose their loved one. But at some point, we really want to help victims of gun violence, because it's horrific when you get that call. So we're not only establishing scholarships, but we're planning to do some other things in the community to help families begin the healing process. Because the one thing that I realize, When you go through a tragedy like this, you can't get paralyzed and stop. Life keeps going. The person that killed my son got up the next morning, had breakfast, I believe, and had conversations with other people after he had killed someone. So this call is to you specifically, young person, whoever you were, that you would come forward. This is a special appeal from our family, that you would come forward and say what you did. That's our appeal. I don't know if you have any questions, or Mashiya, you want to say something?
I just want that this person to be caught. There's someone out there somewhere, someone knows something, and they should call. They can call the anonymous line, and we need some closure.
What can you tell us about your son? I mean, I remember at the time just hearing what a wonderful person he was. He was even holding a door for somebody. I mean, tell us about him.
You know, Hollis would say, you know, I have a, you know, Thanksgiving is a big deal at our house. A lot of family come over, big time at our family. And Hollis would say, Ma, you just don't know. I said, what do you mean I don't know? I says, if you need to be here at 10, you need to be here at 10. Whatever time I say, that's when you need to be here. And he would always be late because he'd always be trying to help somebody. Hollis would put up tile for people. We didn't even know he's working on tile for people. We knew how to do tile. But if I called him and said, Hollis, I'm at Costco, I'm buying a mirror, when can you come out? He says, I'm on my way. He was that kind of son. I'm on my way. He would just, and he did that not just to his own family, but everybody he touched, he felt like they were family to him. That's just the way he was. He just had a big heart. And I'll share this story. We have someone that Hollis worked with at Freddie Mac sent me a check around Hollis's birthday. And they said, I hope you continue the cause. And I'll be honest with you, it's hard sometimes to keep moving forward. And when I got that check and that letter, I said, you know what? God wants us to go forth. We're doing something special for some other people, and we need to help. And so that's the kind of person he was. And that's actually how we started the scholarship, because so many people sent so many funds for him. So we were able to do that.
Ma'am, did he attend college, and so which one?
Yes, Hollis graduated from UDC. Yeah, he had started out at Carson Newman, and then he graduated from Montgomery College with a 2-year degree, and then he finished with his bachelor's in business administration from UDC.
And where did he attend high school?
Woodbridge High School. In Woodbridge, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is there anything specific that you think, I mean, is there any reason for optimism that someone does have information that they've withheld over the last 3 years that could be the break you're looking for?
Yeah, if I could speak to that. We believe that there's a white sedan that the suspect had got into. And so we want to know if anybody has a tag number or any information on that car or this incident. Give us a call. You can call our Crime Solvers line at 1-866-411-TIPS. You can remain anonymous. As you see, this family is grieving. We're trying to bring some kind of resolution to this case so we can bring some closure to this family. And they want to definitely know what happened to their son, their brother. We want to make this family whole again. So if you know any information, definitely give us a call.
Can you speak with us for just a moment about motive in this case? He wasn't robbed or anything, right? This was just a shooting. Any idea of motive?
For right now, all we have right now is that Hollis was in an apartment complex holding a door for an individual. That individual then shot Hollis and then fled on foot. That's what we have right now. He fled on foot to that vehicle. That vehicle then left the scene. So we're trying to get any information that we do have.
Hollis was home. Hollis was, it was his apartment complex. You know, he owned a condo there. So he was home.
Well, he was going home.
He was going home. He had just come from watching a football game.
Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football. It was. I believe it was Dallas against the Redskins, with some of his friends. I can't describe to you how, you know, there's parts of me, it's like this just happened yesterday. You know, and where my father called me and said someone is saying that Hollis has been shot. It's just, it's like being in a nightmare that won't end. We'll never be whole again, but we do continue to move forward. But this person needs to be caught. We need closure on that. And someone somewhere out there knows something.
If you would, how does it make you feel that one of his last acts was an act of kindness towards somebody opening a door?
Yeah. Sometimes I wish he wasn't so kind. Sometimes I wish it's tough. It's just tough knowing that I believe that the person who did this, they couldn't have known Hollis, because if they'd known him, they would have liked him. Of course, when it comes to suspects, we don't know what their motivation is, and sometimes I have to think about that they had a mother and they had a life, and so in answer to your question, I do sometimes wish that he hadn't opened that door or hold the door, whatever he was doing. I wish he had not done that.
Where did he get his obvious love of helping other people?
Me and his dad used to say that he was like the both of us. He had a little bit of both of us. However, since my husband's passed, Hollis was just like his dad. We actually say they were the nicer ones, not us.
Yeah.
They were the nice ones. Brad and Hollis were just
Giving of time, of their time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were the disciplinarian.
Yeah.
The dad was disciplinary too, even though they were friends. He was a disciplinarian as well.
Yeah, but she don't have a problem saying no.
Yeah, I don't have a problem saying no. That's true. I wouldn't open the door for nobody.
The video of the suspect is a daytime video, and the video of the vehicle is nighttime video. Are you able to explain the disparity in the time?
There is it's not daytime video.
Well,
No. The video's all
It's all
night.
yes, it is.
because this happened at 11:30, like late at night.
Yeah, 11:30.
You seem to have a real passion around the issue of gun violence. Do you have thoughts about where you may be led in the future in terms of?
This is something that the board of directors, we've been talking about as of late, because the fact that we're doing these scholarships, that's one thing, but there's something that we feel that God is leading us into something in reference to the victims of gun violence. I'm not certain exactly how it's going to look just now. That is one of our future goals, that we can help families. And I think the beginning aspects will begin families helping them to heal. It's a very hard process. And, you all know, you open up the paper every night, it's something new. We've lost someone, so someone's family has gone through a tragedy. We know that we're not the only ones that had to go through this. So I do believe we're going to be doing something in relation to families and helping them to begin their healing process. They may never stop crying, like we don't stop crying either. There's times when I cry and we feel really sad. But what I really want families to know is that no matter what happens, whatever tragic you go through, you can't stop. You can't let life stop. You can't get paralyzed by what happens in your life. You have to get up, dust yourself off, and keep it moving. My hashtag line is keep it moving. And that's what we've done. My husband was very adamant about this. He wanted to make sure we got these scholarships out, and we looked for the athletes, and we've got, like I said, we have a great set of board of directors that help us with that. And they're doing some great work. So I'm looking forward to seeing what our next phase is going to be when it comes to assisting families that have gone through gun violence.
Because there's so many things that you don't, unless this happens to you and your family. I mean, she lost a son, and it's different for her grieving process, where I lost a sibling. My kids lost an uncle. his fiance, you know, lost, you know, her life partner. And so everyone,
That's true.
you know, all of his friends, we all lost something. And
That's a good
so
point.
it's I think that's where we want to go with victims of violence as well, because
it touches so many lives.
It touches and it touches in different ways, you know. And we have our good days and we have our bad days still 3 years later.
And that's why it's so important that, you know, we appreciate Prince George's County even getting this together with the media so that we could put a face on our son, our brother, our uncle, our nephew, because he has grandparents that are going through some stuff, and uncles that really love him, and cousins, everybody, and not to even say the friends that are so close.
The countless
And
friends.
what I'm so impressed with is the young men that are working with us on the foundation, and the commitment as young men that they have to move this forward. We've done some great work in 3 years' time. It's been tough, but we're getting it done, and that's why I just thank God for that.
I think, you know, the young men that she speaks of, they're Hollis's best friends. He's known them since they were like 7, 8, 9 years old. And my dad really, you know, through basketball, they were close with my father as well. So I know that both of them would be, they're very proud of him because they really, really stepped up and are, you know, doing what Hollis would want them to do.
We'll get that to you in a second.
Yeah. Again, we want to just encourage anybody who has any information, a reference to this incident, so we can bring this grieving family some resolution in this case. Give us a call. Our number is 1-866-411-TIPS. You can remain anonymous. If you have any information, a tag number, some elements that may help us bring this case to a conclusion, definitely give us a call. We are looking to hear from you, and I want to stress that you can remain anonymous. And I thank you all for coming out today.